It's another shelter-in-place with the movies edition of Extra Butter. Coffee and Kareem, anyone? David Alan Grier joins us live from his home to talk about this awesome, funny new offering from Netflix. Also, it's a time of national struggle and a time for the family to stick together. And sound familiar? It's also the theme of Little Women. Now streaming into your home, Greta Gerwig, Timothée Chalamet, Saoirse, Ronan, and the rest join us to talk about it. Also, what's up with all these singing cats? It was a bomb at the box office, but now a chance for big redemption. Jennifer Hudson, Jason Derulo, and the rest tell us why you should see Cats. We'll be talking about that and more on this edition of Extra Butter. And as if on cue, it's Kelly Savanna Deaton, my virtual guest today. Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
So this is the wave of the future. You got to be excited because you don't have to smell my bad breath anymore.
It's not your breath, it's your feet, Mark.
It's so funny. Normally you kind of joke about that kind of stuff, but truth be told, I think I've been wearing the same socks for like a month now.
I believe you. I believe it.
Well, how are you? You healthy? Things good, Kelly Savanna Deaton?
Things are good, Marcus Allen. They're very good. I've been traveling from my bedroomini, have you heard of it, to the couchini, all over the house, all over the world, keeping the traveling bug alive.
This is very exciting. And this is a good test, too, because my first celebrity guest in much the same way coming up in just a few minutes, David Alan Grier.
Oh, let me guess. You're totally going to hijack it, aren't you, and talk about Star Wars like you always do.
No, well, he doesn't have any connection to the Star Wars universe. I only do that when people have crossed the Star Wars path.
Are you kidding? You're joking, right? I know something and you don't. When he first moved to LA, he had a voice role in the first animated Star Wars movie. How do you not know this?
Shut the front. Are you kidding me?
I am not.
How did I not know this?
Point one
I'm so
for
embarrassed.
me, 0.0 for you.
Well, I can't wait to get to that. Speaking of which, I was going to talk about Star Wars because it's crushing it right now in home delivery with episode 9 now streaming. We could talk about that or whatever you want to talk about.
No, I think how do you not want to talk about Will Ferrell and Downhill, remember? Let's talk about that instead. Oh,
yeah, so that's out streaming right now too. Ooh, are you thinking what I'm thinking? So now be warned, if you stream the movie Downhill with Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Will Ferrell, you're probably thinking it's going to be a comedy. You could not be further wrong. Am I right?
Yeah, I was really surprised when I first saw the trailer and heard about it. I was like, okay, you have two comedic kingpins in the industry. Will Ferrell, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. This movie is going to be rip-roaring laughter the whole time. Not really. The comedy's kind of sprinkled in here and there, but it's pretty much like a gritty marital drama.
I want to talk about the movie and how it might hit close to home in a minute. Meanwhile, what did you talk to him about?
They gave me a very interesting story about when they first met. Take a look.
And what was your initial reaction of one another when you first met?
Okay, so when I walk into this restaurant and Will has a fur-length mink coat on with a hood, lots of gold, dark glasses. You refer to them, they were like, you say it's like a welder's thing that you
like
wear?
a welder's mask.
Welder's mask,
Yes.
right, exactly.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, this guy seems hyper unusual.
And my service dog, which is a Burmese mountain dog.
Yes, right.
Who doesn't always stay where he's supposed to stay.
And he had a Louis Vuitton bag with a little teeny dog. What is that, a Pomeranian?
A little Pomeranian.
Yeah. So it was...
Named Cujo, which is ironic because
he's so teeny and cute.
Yeah.
Anyway, the dogs were
most of our meeting, I had to deal with the dogs.
Right,
Okay, I see.
right.
But you still knew you guys wanted to work together, obviously.
Well, it was all the gold
I was
that sold
thrilled.
me.
That would sell me also.
Yeah.
See, they were so funny there. I was hoping they were going to be funny in this movie, but I guess the movie's not that kind of movie.
No, not really. And when you watch it at home, be warned, it will make you take sides, whether you're taking Will Ferrell's side or Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I've got a lot of self-loathing going on because I truly related to the Will Ferrell character. And here's why it might hit close to home, because in this movie, they're going through an avalanche. Now, flip that a little bit and make that a pandemic. And you start to learn who people are during times like this. Am I right?
Exactly. And you'll see Will Ferrell's, the way he handles things kind of shades the trip from the get-go. So keep that in mind.
I think a lot of people are going to say, oh, my husband's exactly like that, and I just learned it this week. If you're looking for something to lift your spirit during this time, this is not the movie, but if you want to see some good acting from two great actors that they forget that Will Ferrell is actually a very gifted actor, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus has great chops.
Yeah, I want to see them do more projects, and they said they're going to, so I'm excited for that. Maybe we can hope for a genuine comedy next time. Let's cross our fingers.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I just want a rom-com. I don't want to dive into anything that makes me feel like I'm a bigger loser than I already am. So do you recommend it or no?
Just if you know what it is going into it, I would recommend it because it is entertaining. It has its funny moments, but it's definitely not a comedy the entire time. So if you know ahead of time, I think I'd recommend it.
Awesome. I know you had someone at the door, so make sure that you put your mask on, go answer the door. In the meantime, when we come back, it is my first celebrity quarantine guest ever. Next to Kelly Savanna Deaton, it is David Alan Grier talking about the movie that is crushing it on Netflix. If you haven't seen Coffee and Kareem, you need to. That and more coming up as Extra Butter continues. Hey, welcome back to our Extra Butter Shelter in Place special. This is a very exciting moment for Extra Butter because for the very first time since quarantine, a big star joins us live. David Alan Grier in living color, now crushing it. Kareem and Coffee on Netflix. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm locked down, I'm secure, and I'm fabulous. I have some coffee, no Kareem, because I don't drink my coffee that way, but I'm good.
Now, did you ever in your wildest dreams think that this would take place? I mean, that I would be stuck in my home, talking to you stuck at your home, in the world the way it is, in your wildest dreams?
I often dreamed of this, you know.
Oh, really? You did?
The way I could change this, the way I dreamed it, is I should be lying in bed, looking at the ceiling in which your image is projected digitally on my ceiling. And I have like a cell implanted in my head, so I don't even have to get up.
So what you're saying is the perfect world. You're doing it between the sheets.
That would probably be the most exciting way to do an interview.
Okay, truth be told, where are you right now? What's your world like?
Well, I'm in my dining room. I'm dressed from the waist up. From the waist down, I got PJs and flip-flops on.
Nice.
I dragged my dog out of the bedroom because he is lazy, Mr. Pickles, and I had to put him in his crate. I can't put him outside this early. He is the loudest dog I have ever owned.
I think I need a sample.
He goes full volume.
David, I think you just woke up the entire neighborhood with your sample of Mr. Pickles.
Mr. Pickles is rude. He is rude. So I had to put him in his crate. He's very sleepy and quiet.
All right. Well, hey, congratulations on the movie. It is hysterical. It's exactly what the world needs right now. It's funny. Love you as the police chief. When you think back in the day, what is your favorite scene? What you're most looking forward to seeing people see when they get it?
You know what? I just love playing the police chief because he reminds me of all the student counselors, vice principals, whenever I was sent to the principals, which happened several million times in my schooling career. That's kind of his relationship to his officers when we're in the office. So that's what it reminded me most of. And just trying not to laugh with these scenes with Ed Helms and Betty Gilpin, a lot of improvisation. It was really fun to work with those guys. Those are my best scenes where you just had to be straight, not laugh, and get them zingers out.
And you did. Oh, and the kid in this movie, amazing. Hey, before we wrap it up, if I could hijack the interview to ask you about something I need to clear up. Is it true that at one point Star Wars was a part of your career, that in fact it launched your career?
Absolutely. Absolutely. John Madden was my Shakespeare professor when I was in acting school at Yale. I went out to California for the summer to visit some friends. He was directing the radio serialized version of Star Wars, and he invited me to come on and work on that production. I played stormtroopers.
What?
And I got killed 3 or 4 times.
What?
I hung out with Mark
Hamill?
Mark Hamill and all those guys. They were so sweet to me. And it just was an amazing adventure. I went out and I hung out with Mark and Kathleen Kennedy when I came to LA that after the production was done. And I think we had barbecue at Mark's house at the time.
What?
And yeah. So I'm Stormtrooper. You can hear me on the radio thing and I go, who goes, what are you doing in that hallway? And I'm killed.
I just got goosebumps. That was amazing. David Alan Grier, star of Kareem and Coffee on Netflix. Thank you so much. You're awesome.
Remain seated. Thank you so much.
Okay. Hey, we have more extra butter on the way. It's going to be awesome. The entire cast of Little Women joining us, including its director, Greta Gerwig. Next. Hey, welcome back. It is Extra Butter, quarantine style. I hope you and your family are staying safe, and stay at home means stay at home. So wash your hands, don't touch your face, and if you touch your face, I hope you washed your hands, right?
Yep.
So at the beginning of the show, we talked about how the movie Downhill might hit home with some people. I'm saying the same thing about Little Women. Little Women is a good movie to teach you how you can bond together as a family, no matter what the dynamics of your family during a time like this. Am I right?
100%. And this movie definitely shows you that it could be a lot worse at times, actually. And the cast, okay, let's talk about this, Mark. Greta Gerwig, number one.
Yep.
Saoirse Ronan, number two. Those two,
Yep.
I feel like could make any movie enjoyable. They just know what people want, and they always do so well at like putting a fresh spin on it. So any movie they have coming out, I don't have to have any research. I'm going to see it 100%. And this one does not disappoint.
That's right. Greta Gerwig was absolutely robbed, as was the cast at the Academy Awards. Timothée Chalamet, I wanted to ask you, like, you're off want to talk about boy toys. Does this guy do it for you?
He's cute. He's a little young for me, but I will tell you that he's in the same vein of Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he is the new age LDC.
That is a good point. He sat beside his director, and we talked at the home where the book that inspired the movie was written. Take a look. What I love about your screenplay, one, I love the direction of the movie, how it's non-linear, how you're jumping around, and we start with these characters as they're young adults. Your scene, the proposal scene, is romantic and heartbreaking all at the same time, and awkward, and one of your best moments.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a beautiful... I knew I wanted that moment. When I thought about doing it telling the story in a non-linear fashion, part of what I was interested in was almost creating a cubist film, so that you were looking at the same thing from two different perspectives, which is this sort of philosophical underpinnings of cubism. And I thought that would be a way to examine how people are who they are. And with Laurie's character, to meet him when he's a kind of a disaffected youth wandering around Europe being drunk because he thinks it makes him like amplify his pain.
Right.
And then to see the sort of sincerity of where he started with, it was just, it made it more poignant for me.
And I love the chemistry, the friendship that's there between the two of them. Do you find that a lot of your work's done and some of the pressure's off, knowing that Laurie and Joe are going to come together with instant chemistry because you've got this history with Ms. Ronan?
What we had with Saoirse, I mean, I don't know, I guess you can never feel guaranteed about it, and I think by the very nature of good working relationships, I don't really know what makes it work, or I don't know what it is, or if it does. I think I'm happy, a lot of folks have been happy seeing the movie or watching it, and yet it's really Greta. It's like the comfort of being in front of her and being with Saoirse in front of Greta. And we rehearsed that scene. We rehearsed every scene in this movie. We had like a workshop in Amy Pascal's farm. It was like a creative farm, and we'd go there and rehearse every day. Rehearsed a lot of scenes. We did that proposal one once, and Greta was like, "Shut up, let's just do it on the day. Like, this is, let's not even touch it."
Kelly, you know what I love about that? I love the way that he laid back and let his director, showing respect for Greta, let her take the lead, because like you said, he's kind of the up-and-coming guy. He could have been a little over chatty, but he laid back.
I know. I feel like I've seen so many interviews with him, and in every single one, he's so humble and he's learning as he's going, and he kind of takes it all in. I mean, you can see him, even in this interview that you did, you can see him taking in his surroundings and just learning as much as he can. And I think that's really commendable, because a lot of up-and-comers are not like that.
Yeah, he should hope to have a director with the skills of Greta Gerwig next time around. I mean, I hope they team together again.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, anytime that Saoirse Ronan and Greta Gerwig, and now Timothée Chalamet. Those three are like the dream team. Anything they're selling, I am buying 100%.
No kidding. So I went to the home where Ms. Alcott actually wrote this book. You would think I was socially distanced at the time, but this is long before any of this was taking place. They parked me like halfway across the room to talk to these people.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, Mark, there's two reasons. One, it's probably your feet. And number two, they probably separated you ahead of time. That way, when they called security for you being a stalker, it was easy to just whip you away.
I was just glad no paperwork had been filed at that point. We talked about the fact that this movie started with Lady Bird. Take a look. This is, I gotta be honest, a little intimidating. It's less of an interview, it feels more like an intervention. Okay, I have a problem, I'll get help, I understand.
Come to the Little Women.
Exactly.
We will come to the Little Women. Hi, we're the Little Women.
It's like you could start a band, that could be your band. Where's your track drop? I'll get it. I understand that some discussions of all of this may have started on the set in Sacramento, California of Lady Bird, that Greta may have been opening the discussion about you being in this.
Not on the set. The film had been made and we were doing press for Lady Bird and we were at, an award show, as you are. And I just heard that she was doing it and she hadn't said anything to me yet about it. And I just like tapped her on the shoulder and she turned around and I was like, I know you're doing Little Women and I think I should be Joe and you can go away and think about it. Don't talk to me about it now and we'll, you should let me be Joe.
Well, I've known Greta for a long, long time. In fact, take a look at this. A little Christmas present that I'd love to show you. So this poster, signed by the entire cast. Keep watching Extra Butter on YouTube, like and subscribe, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to get it. In the meantime, Kelly, I don't know if we talked about this before. Are you a cat person or are you a dog person?
I'm a cat person.
Are you a cats person?
Let me think about that. Let me marinate on that.
All right, marinate and chill for a minute because when we come back, we are going to talk about one of the most controversial movies based on a Broadway show ever. It's the movie Cats. What's up with all those singing cats? We'll talk with the stars about it next. And welcome back to Extra Butter. It is our shelter-in-place special, and I hope you are sheltering in place. I hope you're doing well and you're healthy and happy and not going too stir-crazy. Are you going stir-crazy, Kelly, Savanna Deaton?
A little, yeah, a little bit.
Well, hang in there, and you hang in there too. By the way, if you like movies, every star you can imagine from every major motion picture that's now spewing into the streamer sphere is available on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Do what, Kelly, Savanna Deaton?
Like and subscribe and turn on notifications.
Hey, wait, is that a cat? Is there a cat peeking out behind you?
She heard we were talking about it. We were talking about cats, and she was sad she wasn't in the movie. See? I'm a crazy cat lady. Thank you for announcing that on TV, Mark. Appreciate it.
That's fantastic. There's never been a better time for it because Cats is now streaming into your homes just in time for this shelter in place. Now, let me be the first to tell you, be warned. This is based on the Broadway musical Cats. You will never get a better seat for a Broadway musical than watching this movie. But at the end of the day, it's still Cats. So if you hated Cats the musical or you don't know about Cats the musical, you might be a little confused by it. How do you set it up? How do you explain what this is?
Man, I still don't even know, and I've seen it 3 times. But what I can tell you is it's based off the poems by T.S. Eliot, and it has an amazing cast, and there's music and dancing and people as cats, and it's just a whole charade of randomness. And let me tell you, T.S. Eliot was also a drug user, so we can leave it at that.
I think that explains a lot right there. I was a Broadway fan. I was a theater arts major, both in high school and college, and Cats was at the height of its popularity during that time. And everybody, even guys like me who couldn't stand it, had to pretend to like it when I had no idea what was it about. It drove me nuts. However, this is the best musical performance you're ever going to have. I mean, let's talk about the people singing in this movie for real.
Jason Derulo, Jennifer Hudson, those 2 alone are exceptional singers. And don't you have some history with Jason Derulo, Mark?
Yeah, I tried to get him to sing his name and he said he doesn't do that anymore. So we talked about other stuff, including the nudity in this film. What? Take a look. With this, you're in that spandex, and the computers are only going to add so much of a layer. You got to look good to begin with.
Yeah, nah, it was kind of brutal. You know, basically we were all naked on set every single day. You know, it's just like balls out everybody. It's just like that's what it was.
Now back to the movie. This really is like having the best seat for a Broadway performance of Cats. Now, if you hated Cats, you're going to hate this. However, the music and the dancing at its best. Your lead is Francesca. She's a classically trained ballerina, considered one of the world's best. And then Jennifer Hudson singing Memories. Come on!
Man, Francesca, first of all, this is her very first film, and you would never guess. I mean, she's going up, not against, but with James Corden, Judi Dench, Ian McKellen, like the list goes on. And she more than holds her own, and she's incredible. And then Jennifer Hudson comes on. No matter what you just felt or went through during Cats, if you were ready to get out of there, when you hear her sing, you're just shocked, and it makes you think like, oh, this movie's actually not too terrible. You hear that, and you can't not help but think it was incredible.
Both of you are incredibly respected in your fields, but at the same time, the fanboy, fangirl has to come out of you. Who are you most looking forward to meeting on the set, besides each other?
It's an amazing cast. So again, I was just happy to be in the cast with them, or in our set chair sitting next to Judi Dench. Like, wow, that's your Judi Dench. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's crazy.
Hey, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Please stay in your home safe and sound. We'll get through this on the other side. In the meantime, if you like movies, let's keep talking about it in comments below. Like and subscribe on YouTube to Extra Butter. Kelly Savanna Deaton, where do we stalk you?
At Kelly Savanna Deaton.
Awesome. I'm at TV Marcus Allen. Again, YouTube, like and subscribe, Extra Butter TV. And hey, shout out to my son, my camera guy, Carson. Very nice job. Thanks for hanging out. I know that he's getting tired of it, and just like that, he's walking it. We're not officially done with the show. You know, credits are still rolling. Son of a, you forgot Kelly.
Yeah, don't leave me. Wait.